Hey guys, welcome back. So, people have been recommending that I should go ahead and make a spider system over various sets just one at a time because people are going to enjoy it and they wanted to see my opinion on various sets. So, today we're doing Cosmic Eclipse. So, Cosmic Eclipse came out right after Hidden Fates and was kind of overshadowed by it, and right now it's been picking up pace, getting increasingly expensive and popular. So, let's begin. Actually, no, I forgot. So I decided to change up the intrinsic value a little bit for this system. So I decided that for now on, intrinsic value, in order for it to be a check mark, it doesn't have to be higher than the box price. It just has to be within a decent range of it. I would say within 30% of the. It has to be about 60% of the box price. I say that because whenever we go and look in reference to the base set, jungle, fossil, all of it, the intrinsic value is not equal to the box price. And I noted that no matter what set it is, as time goes on, those two become increasingly disjointed because that's just how it is. You're not supposed to be able to buy a box, crack it, and instantly make profit. The market just If that happens, the market will crack those boxes until eventually it gets to the point that the price is higher than the intrinsic value. So I noted that that was a weakness in my system, so I decided to modify that a little bit. Alright, now then, let's begin. In Cosmic Eclipse right away, yes, we do have a Zard, we have the Charizard Brexen. And for the Pokemon, I would say it was just outstanding. The way they did the Pokemon cards with the trainers in the back and the various combinations of Pokemon they had, the tag team cards, just um, gorgeous. The fact that it did to an extent get overshadowed by Hidden Fates, but still managed to hold its own next to such a strong set speaks volumes to itself. Now that I'm done praising it on the constants, let's get into the actual bulk of it. Supply from the get-go, from what I could tell, it was strong enough on its own that it warranted a decent bit of attention, but Hidden Fates was still very much there. So the supply, while it wasn't bad, there wasn't enough demand to automatically make it fantastic for investing. So I mentioned Cosmic Eclipse came out 9 months ago, so I decided to also modify the second spot. I decided to make it 6 months to 12 months because Pokemon sets release really fast, so I thought that would be a much better gauge. This column right here is going to stay the same though. I still think you need a long term column. However, I may make some marks in here in some sets if I feel comfortable making some form of prediction. But remember, in this column, without the full information, this is beyond speculation. It's just hardcore guessing at that point, just going based off of the info I have from these two. Now then, fast forwarding to now, which is 9 months later, I would say the supply got burned through enough that now it's really just the sleeve booster packs inside of warehouses with very few booster boxes left. But there again, we're in the middle of this investment period, so a lot of people are storing these boxes. So I think they're going to linger for a while. Now, playability, yes, this stat is very new. It is very much being used in terms of the TCG, and I think it's going to stay. And I'm not fully versed on what's on the TCG side of things. According to my girlfriend, she says it's not a bad set. It actually works pretty well in it, and because it's so new, people are using various little bits and pieces of it. As for the intrinsic value of this box, so I managed to figure out per box you get on average about 1 to 2 trainer cards, like the Don Piplup cards. I refer to them as trainer cards. I'm not sure if that is what they're called, but that's just what I call them. And you get anywhere between 2 to 4 GXs. So when I'm going to refer to most of these in PSA 9 and 10 because when I looked at the pop report, I saw every card had a minimum 50% chance of being a PSA 10, just according to the pop report. A lot of those cards actually went beyond that and had a 60% chance or even higher, and that may be just because there's so few being graded or they're just fantastically easy to grade. So I'm going based off of 9s and 10s because there were almost no 8s out there. So whenever we're talking about the trainer cards, I saw they go anywhere from 60 to 120 in PSA 10 in PSA 10s. So, sorry about that. I have very bad handwriting, doctor's handwriting. So if we decide to gauge it, you pull, let's say you pull your two, and one of them comes back a PSA 9. You could probably realistically list it around $40 if it's a mediocre card, unless if it's the high end. And your other one comes back at 10, and we'll say it's 70. Right there, you have $110 in value. Not even including your GXs, which some, if you don't even want to grade them, they go anywhere from between $5 to $15 a pop. And if you pull 2 to 4, right there, you've gotten most of your value back. Not to mention, there is still that 1 in 2 chance at a rainbow rare. And from what I've gathered, basically all the cards in this set are desirable. This is not a set that is being heavily loaded in one end, where it's okay, you only want these kinds of cards, these few cards. No, it's when you look at Pokellector, basically everything at the bottom, everyone wants. Even things that typically you wouldn't desire, like the Excadrill, because of the beautiful combination where you have the headlining Pokemon, and then you have the Pokemon itself with its little trainer, the Pokemon itself with the trainer kind of in the background, which I thought was a fantastic way for them to really solidify trainers, because I've always seen trainer cards alone as they're kind of weak. They're filler for a set, but the way they did it, it was less filler and more so all of them were chase cards. So intrinsic value, just fantastic. Right out the gate, this set had great pull rates. All the cards were desirable just about. Of course, there were some GXs that aren't, but the trainer cards alone really just compensate for the box price. Even now at 140, 160, you're still very easily able to break even and make profit in some cases. Like I said, I'm gauging it off of 9s and 10s because that's the info I have right now. It may turn out that just some people were really good at calling what the grades would be for cards and only sent those in. It's too early to tell. Things could very easily change. I mean, we're going to get PSA returns in 4 or 5 months from a bunch of people, and that could completely change up this information. So deviation is fantastic. Doesn't deviate a lot, but Cosmic Eclipse is the one and only set I have seen so far that I've been able to find any info on. Maybe I've just been searching in the wrong places. That has error boxes that are in favor of the people opening them. What I mean by that is I've seen one error box specifically I saw had 2 rainbows in it, rainbow rares in it. It had, I believe it was 4 trainer cards, and it had 3 full arts as well, and like 4 GXs. That was just an absurd box. And I know of 3 of them in total that have been cracked, that just managed to find them randomly. So overall, it just seems like this set has the chance for the errors, so deviation exists, but it seems to actually be in favor of the people who are breaking open the boxes. Expectations for this set, I think they're actually pretty good, considering it came out after Hidden Fates and is only 9 months old, yet it's relatively difficult to find in stores. Like, they may have some, but it's not going to be very much. So using that plus what I've gathered from some members in E4, people had pretty good expectations for it. Not that they viewed it as easy money per se, but just they thought it was a really nice set. But now, people still view it as a nice set, but again, they see easy money. They see those dollar signs. So for the reality right now, the release was fantastic, and even now it's fantastic. The box it's been 9 months and the box is 140, 160. What is that? That's around a 25% return. Just insane. So for this one, I actually feel a little comfortable making some predictions. For the future, I actually think the supply is not going to be great. So yes, it's going to run out in warehouses relatively soon, probably in the next 6 months, but everyone is hoarding everything. They're just hoarding it, hoping to make money. Basically any modern sets that I appraise in this time period are gonna have the same issues. playability, it's still going to be playable. That's not going to change. It's going to stay in rotation. But there's a big issue. Because it's playable, because it's running around in that 140 to 160 price range, and it's barely 9 months old, reprint is very possible. If it continues on its upwards trend, just continues to increase and become increasingly difficult for their players to purchase the boxes to break open. I know players buy singles, but some like to bust open boxes to try and get the cards. So I could very easily see a reprint come, because we had Ultra Prisms, which was almost completely out of the standard, and that got a small reprint. And there are rumors that there are other Sun and Moon reprints coming. So I could absolutely see Cosmic Eclipse as one of those, and that would automatically destroy all this. This entire column right here would instantly change. I don't know how much, but again, just keep that in mind. Reprint, that is why I am very cautious when it comes to this set. Intrinsic value and deviation, I think, are still going to be fine. Value of the cards are going to keep increasing, most likely, or at least stay steady. If they stay steady, the price of the box can move up a little more, and it'll still be perfectly fine. Deviation, that's not going to change, because all the cards are so solid and they're all on the same playing field. The only one that kind of is a sore thumb is the Charizard Brexen, but realistically, that's just with every set that has a Charizard in it. The expectations, it really depends on the reprint. If there's no reprint, expectations are still going to be high. But if that reprint hits, no one's gonna. If that reprint hits and it ends up being massive, no one's gonna have faith in the set. If it turns out to be a little reprint, this will just become neutral. I just don't know what will happen. The reality, again, it's entirely relying on this reprint. I think Cosmic Eclipse was a little overshadowed by Hidden Fates. It was good and it stayed relatively linear, just very slow growth. But then I noticed roughly about 3 months ago, no, it might have been 2 months ago, it had a sharp uptick. I saw it running around at about 120. It was about 120 at the time, but now I see it actually sometimes selling at 160, even though the average is closer to 140, but sometimes it still sells at 160. I believe that the set is really good, has a lot of potential to grow, because I compared it to all the other sets that were around it. Those trainer cards are just so gorgeous. It really just dwarfs everything else in terms of just the trainer cards. Hidden Fates had the Cynthia Garchomp, which was really good too. But this set just has a very unique feel to it. We all know about the Red's Pikachu. The red and blue full art is also highly desirable. Then you have the Venusaur Snivy, Blastoise Piplup. You have the Charizard Brexen. Overall, I think this set will age well and will retain very nice linear growth. However, there's the threat of that reprint. If that reprint hits, then it's just this is all for naught. It'll have to be redone. So yeah, those are my thoughts at the end of the day. Good set, should have linear growth. If the reprint hits, it can absolutely destroy everything, and I'm hoping that that doesn't happen. So if there's any sets you guys specifically want to see me cover, then mention it in the comments section below, and if I'm able to actually fill out this chart with him, then I'll go ahead and do it. And actually, I'm going to fill that in just to have a nice pretty full chart. And yeah, see you guys next time.